Welcome on back to the N Harmon Show, folks. I'm Dalton Wicks alongside
Eric Harmon. In this week's show, we got MLB headlines for you, playoff preview for the NBA, Warriors talk again. We're going to dive a little bit into the Sharks as well. I got a little bit of something rolled up my sleeve for you there. So let's get this show started, Dalton.
Exciting times. Sharks kick off that series with a W. Good time to be a Bay Area sports fan.
Beat LA.
Yes.
Beat LA.
All right, so we're going to start off with a little bit of more MLB headlines. Early part of the season, things kicking into gear. Players starting to round into form. Teams showing their true colors a little bit.
Indeed, true colors, definitely. They're kicking into gear or like not playing baseball at all for a couple of teams.
Funniest thing I saw all week was the alternate logo for the Minnesota Twins.
I didn't see it.
And it was just the TS. Because the way they've been playing right now, you can't put a win in Twins.
Oh, I got it. Ha-ha. Got it. All right, there we go. TS. Sorry. Took me a couple of seconds there. Man, they have been bad. And just a week ago, too, I said they're one of the teams that can be that might be on the upswing starting this year and into the next couple of years. It looks like I was a little bit wrong on that, a little ahead of schedule.
Well, no, you weren't the only one. Everybody thought that the Twins were going to have, Byron Buxton, number 2 prospect in all of baseball, Miguel Sano hitting the absolute crud out of the ball last year. They've got a pretty decent pitching staff, nothing too special, but, there's plenty of potential there. They signed Byung-Ho Park from overseas as a DH, so there's guys there that can play. They're just not clicking right now. I don't know if it's team chemistry or guys just all in a team-wide slump. Who knows?
3 teams they've played so far. They started off with the Orioles, got swept by the Orioles, obviously.
Red-hot Orioles.
Then they went up against the World Series champion Royals. They got swept by the Royals as well.
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty tough start to the season when you run.
And then they just went up against the hot White Sox also. So.
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty bad roll to die right there.
Yeah, that's a tough way to start the season against 3 pretty good teams.
Then again, Minnesota Twins, those are teams you got to beat. 2 of those teams. Those are the Royals and White Sox are in your division. You can't beat them. It's going to be a long year. You play those teams 19 times apiece throughout the season, so it's going to be a long one if you can't beat them.
Yeah, we've already 7 games back in the division.
That's quite a hole, Twins. Quite a hole indeed.
I don't think a team. I think I read a stat that there's never been a team that started 0-7 and been able to make the playoffs. So I think it might be fair to say that this year, at least, their hopes are gone.
Not their year, man.
Yeah.
Just not their year.
And it sucks. 10 games into the season too to already say that, but.
But you know who we did know that about? The Atlanta Braves, who honestly would have probably sold or traded the GM's son for a pack of peanuts this offseason, trying to trade everybody and anybody on the team.
We don't need assets.
And Drelton Simmons gone. We'll bring Eric Ibar, sure, bring him in here. Past his prime, used up goods.
The Angels are like, we don't want, get him out of here. Get him out of here.
They did honestly get a pretty solid package of youngsters, and I think the steal of the offseason was that Shelby Miller trade. We could be seeing that pay off dividends. Ender Inciarte is a pretty nice outfielder, and then Aaron Blair, solid pitcher. But the prize there was Dansby Swanson. If he turns out to be the next big shortstop in the majors, that could have been a total steal.
Yeah. Is
it worth absolutely being a laughingstock this season and possibly the next one after this?
They're maybe for a couple of years they're going with the Philly. I think I said the same thing last week, but they're going with the process, the Sam Hinkie.
The Astros strat.
Yeah, I guess it's the Astros for the baseball equivalent. It's worked out for them. It worked out a lot. It works out a lot better in baseball than it does in other sports.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Building up those.
There's way more opportunities to hit because look at how many rounds are on the draft, and look at how many times you can hit it right on the button. In the other sports, you get that one big pick and you miss on it, and then back to square one.
Yep. Basketball, you get 2 picks. NFL, you get 7. And
that's
hockey,
ridiculous.
You get 7.
I've always thought about the 2 picks in basketball. If you miss on both of those, that's it. Oh well, next year.
And it's not like you can say, hey, let's add some more rounds to it, because by the halfway through this first round, those back end first round guys, there's no saying that those guys will be good NBA players at all. You really can't, because you'll just be working with trash past the I shouldn't say trash, but working with subpar assets past the second or past the first round. So you can't really add any rounds to that. Baseball's got 50 rounds, so
you've got tons of time on the clock to grab who you need.
Yeah. So rebuilding's a lot easier for these MLB teams.
I think the Braves are looking more towards that new stadium, though, and they're trying to compete when that gets unraveled and get more fans in. And then I think they're focused a little more on their food right now, too. They've got some nice food selections over there, some diabetes attractions.
Pizza, burgers. Yeah, they started off their season. They faced the Nationals, good team. And they faced the Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals are a good team. I don't think they're where they were 2 or 3 years ago. And then they face the Nationals again, so a tough start for them as well.
Yeah,
but
all
you
divisional
said,
opponents, though.
Like
it's going to be a long year, Braves fans.
It's hard to not pick up one of those games. It's really hard to not do that. So,
especially when you got your supposed ace, Julio Teheran, taking the mound, you were like, okay, maybe we get a win right here. Nope, Bryce Harper, Grand Slam.
That game, I was on my fantasy baseball team. I was starting him. I was starting Strasburg, and I was starting Harper. So I was just like, just give me stats. Just give me stats, all right? And it kind of worked out. I got the Grand Slam, but, I mean, my ERA went flying through the roof. But it is what it is.
So from the really cruddy teams, we'll take a look at some teams that deserve plenty of recognition for some good baseball, good winning baseball. How about just the city of Chicago right now?
It's all in one area.
Illinois, feeling good right now.
Cubs and White Sox going hard right now. Both bringing different styles of baseball, too. They have, if you combined that team, that pitching staff, or one pitching staff and one hitting staff, they'd be one of the greatest teams.
Can you imagine a Chris Sale, Jake Arrieta 1-2 combo, and then you're bringing in Chris Bryant and Jose Abreu, your 3-4 hitters with Anthony Rizzo hitting 5? What?
Oh, man. Jesus Christ. That'd be ridiculous. Yeah, they have Cubs started off the season 8-1 so far. They put it up with their batting. They've been their first in runs scored, 9th in batting average, 1st in on-base percentage, 8th in slugging percentage. They've really brought the bat to these first 9 games or so. Chicago White Sox, on the other hand, it's been pitching for them. They had the 2.25 ERA, second best in the league, tied for 4th quality starts, 4th in whips, 3rd in batting average allowed. I'll throw out the numbers. I forgot to do that. They're first in runs with 64, 9th in batting average. This is the Cubs. 9th in batting average with 270, first with their on-base percentage at a 384, 8th with the slugging percentage at 436, and the White Sox, they're 2.25 ERA, second place, 4th in quality starts with 7, 4th in whip with 1.01, and then 3rd in batting average allowed with a 200, which is very good batting average allowed.
All thanks to Matt Latos.
Oh my God, I hate Matt Latos.
Damn you, Matt Latos.
Oh, he annoys me. His face. It's so punchable.
No, not Matt. Like Chris Sale, Carlos Rodon, Jose Quintana. It's the triple lefties atop that rotation. The young studs. Those guys are carrying that team for
definitely.
sure. Those guys are all very talented. Also, if they can stick together, that's a pretty formidable rotation for the next few years for sure. And then they've got. Hopefully, they can re-sign Todd Frazier and keep Jose Abreu around and have a nice 3-4 1-2 punch as well.
Mm-hmm. Jose Abreu is going to be the big bat in that lineup for years to come, I believe. If they re-sign him, he's the centerpiece. Maybe a little Brett Lowry too.
Opening up wounds, man.
I'm sorry. I knew as I was saying that, I was like, I'm being a dick right now. But I'm gonna
Cubs, though, speaking of opening up more wounds, they're starting shortstop, Addison Russell. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he could have been an A. Yeah, that's true.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
That's true.
But we needed that Samardzija. Needed
for
Samardzija.
The playoff push. That very.
Yeah, the Cubs, they're rolling on all cylinders right now as well. That offense is carrying them. Lose Kyle Schwarber, whatever. Bring in Jorge Soler. He's going to play outfield for us now. Maybe Javier Baez a little bit. They've just got unlimited weapons.
Depth is off the chain. I mean, you look at early season OPSs to start off. You got Dexter Fowler. He's been putting up a 1.323 OPS. You got, let's see. What else are the big numbers? I think that's leading the team right now. Dexter Fowler has just been on fire for the Cubs offensively.
What a steal that was to re-sign him and have his contract fall through with the Orioles. That was great.
14 hits through 9 games, 3 doubles, a triple, a home run, 6 RBIs. It's 7 walks, too, to go along with 8 strikeouts. So, I mean, he's patient at the plate. He's killing the ball when he sees it. It's been an excellent start for him in this Cubs offense.
Anthony Rizzo, too, I think this could be his year to finally take home that MVP award. given the fact that the Cubs have a very good chance at possibly bringing home the best record in the league, maybe the majors, definitely win the NL Central at the very least. And typically you're looking at a player from one of those playoff contenders taking home that MVP award. So big season from him this year. He could very well take it home. He's been
slow start, little bit of a slow start.
Little bit of a slow start.
In terms of batting average, I should say. Yeah, he hasn't.
But it's that potential he's got in him,
and he's got so much power. Like when he does hit it, he's got 2 home runs, 10 RBIs already. He's, like I said, his batting average is only 182, but he's patient at the plate. He's got 8 walks already, and that's helped out his on-base percentage. And he's still sitting at a 781 OPS, which is just above, right around that league average. I think you're looking like a 710, 720 league average for OPS. So the fact that he's still batting that low, that's going to rise. That number's going to get up there in the 800s, the 900s.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I was a betting man, I'm definitely going to bet on Anthony Rizzo raising his numbers quite a bit rather than Dexter Fowler continuing to hit at that ridiculous clip. I think things are going to even out a little bit.
Definitely. And then who else is in that lineup? They got Ben Zobrist.
Zobrist, the king of utilities, playing wherever you need him, Mr. Reliable.
Hayward, the new signing over there. It's been all right. He's batting .216. His numbers are a little bit
more
low.
for his defense too. He'll tick up a little bit offensively, but he's not going to hit you like 20 home runs or anything.
Yeah, so they're going to be a scary lineup throughout the year, barring any more injuries. They've already
to be Chris Bryant too. How his power potential this season, how many home runs and RBIs he gets.
Their middle of the lineup's very meaty, very meaty.
Yeah, him and Rizzo
scary.
Need to anchor down that middle, and then it could be scary. Cardinals could just miss the playoffs this year, depending on how Pittsburgh plays. And it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that. So we'll take things more local now. Look at our A's and Giants first. Over on the more gloomy side, A's after a bit of a promising sweep over in Seattle over the weekend, even a rare defeat of King Felix. As somebody who's seen them constantly lose year after year on opening day to the one they call King, it was, even though he had a great pitching performance, just to see the Mariners take the L, and that one was satisfying. Was pretty satisfying to see. And I would assume things were going to continue to trend upward, but took another step back, got beat down a little bit by the LA Angels, Mike Trout and Pujols and company. Sonny Gray just forgot that you can't just lay a fastball for first pitch right to Mike Trout.
Yeah, he's gonna knock it out.
He's gonna hurt you.
Knock it out far too. He crushed that one.
As soon as I heard it, I knew it was gone.
Oh, yeah, you were at that game, yeah.
I heard the crack of the bat and I said, "Dang it, Sonny!"
You looked down.
Dang it, Sonny!
You knew what happened. I don't need to see where this one's going.
Yeah, that thing soared quite a bit. And then Cole Calhoun had a pretty nice series for the Angels as well, giving credit where credit's due. And then the Angels pitching, I mean, it was kind of sad to see guys like Nick Tropiano and Matt Shoemaker and these just 3 and 4 starters completely shut down the A's. The offense is definitely just not clicking at all right now. Even though they showed signs, Reddick seemed to be off to a decent start, and Coco seemed to be a little bit back to his former self. You were hoping that offense.
Coco's been hot.
Yeah. He's been earning his weight in the lineup and kind of forcing the issue with Billy Burns. But it's been a bit tough for them this last week or so. The offense fell quiet, and it's not going to get a whole lot easier. They're welcoming in the defending champs, Kansas City Royals, this weekend, and it's going to be quite a battle.
You gotta hope maybe it's a situation where they'll play up to their competition. They saw the King Felix and they said, let's put in a good game. Now they got the Kansas City Royals up against them. They'll bring in it's a 3 or 4 game set, and then steal a couple wins from the world's defending World Series champions.
Yeah,
turn it around.
Hasn't been all bad news though. Marcus Semien, although he's still a major liability with the glove, he did crack 3 home runs in that series against the Angels, so definitely a little promising to see that.
Yeah, I saw after I saw he had 4 home runs, and I was just like, whoa, where's this power? This is
yeah. Well, he showed some flashes of it last year, including a 2-homer performance off of Felix Hernandez. So we knew that there was some potential there for power, but it's just defensively speaking, I mean, whatever he gives you offensively, he could just throw all right back into your face.
So he's somewhat the David Lee or the Maurice Spates of the
yeah, that's a pretty
Oakland
good
days.
comparison. Considering, both Oakland products. Yeah, I'd say Jed Lowry's glove has been disappointing too. There's a couple of other factors you could look at. Stephen Vogt's kind of been a little cold right now. The starting pitching, though, has been struggling a little bit. I think in terms of durability, they're not getting too deep into games, which has been a problem pretty consistently the past couple of years with the A's. They don't typically last 8-9 innings in a given start, but it just really starts to tax that bullpen.
Yeah.
And then you really see it when Liam Hendricks goes out there and gets tagged, and Madsen and Doolittle are out there getting roughed up a little bit because they're pitching so often.
You hope that it's just an early season issue. I mean, you were saying you saw it last year too, durability issues, but hopefully that it's just that one of their first 2 or 3 starts of the season. They don't want to have them going pushing it for an extra inning or so to give that bullpen a break. Hopefully that trend slows down a little bit as the season goes on, but it's a worrying thing to look at early on in the season.
Yeah, what doesn't ease me or any A's fans at all either is just knowing that like guys like Chris Bassett, Kendall Graveman, Rich Hill, who's already up into his mid-30s on the complete wrong side of 30, those guys just don't have the track record of going long in games. So it's not good to see that they don't really have that capability within them. Like, I'd say a good, decent outing from them, like you got a good, strong start, is like 6 innings. And that's like a really good day. 7 innings would be fantastic from them. And so when you have to know for a fact that your bullpen's going 2 to 3 innings at least every game.
Mm-hmm.
It can kind of
that adds up. That
adds up for
up.
sure. I mean, not every team's the Kansas City Royals and can just throw a starter out there for 4 innings and then have their bullpen eat up the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So I think the A's, they'll have a difficult road ahead of them for sure, starting with that daunting task ahead of them this weekend. But hopefully they can pull a little bit of home magic out, take 2 out of 3, and continue to work their way up out of the hole they dug themselves in. But now we're going to get a little more positive team that's playing a little bit better this year.
A little bit better.
Just a little bit. Got a little more, I'd say, monumental expectations considering the year.
Yeah. They took a step back, I think, this past week. They had a 3-game set against they finished up their set against the Dodgers. I think we talked about that last week. And then they had a 3-game set against the Rockies. They took game 1. Jeff Samardzija had a great start. Threw out 8 innings worth of ball. That's what you want to see from him in his first couple of starts, answering those questions that we had early on in the season. Hunter Pence had himself a good game, 3 RBIs, 2 for 5. I didn't watch most of this series. I'm gonna put that out there right now. But the issue is that Samardzija went 8th, had 6 hits, 5 strikeouts. That's looking good. 2 walks. The next 2 games, though, really worried me because that was one of the big questions we had: is where that depth is going to come from in the Giants rotation. You had both Jake Peavy and Matt Cain get lit up. And
by one guy in particular who we'll get into in a little bit.
Oh my gosh, let's just never get into that. It's just gonna make me so. Yeah, Peavy went first. I think he only went something like 4 innings or so. Yeah, he went up 4 innings, gave up 6 earned runs on 11 hits, 5 strikeouts, which is nice, and only 1 walk. But he was very hittable. And then Chris Heston went out there. Chris Heston, you were telling me, and you're exactly right about this. Chris Heston is the guy who, if these guys falter, he's the guy. He's the guy who's going to be
the backup plan
to come in and start for them, take a couple starts when they're feeling cold and stuff like that. And he went out there, also got rocked too, went 2 innings, 3 hits, gave up an earned run and a walk. It wasn't looking good for him in that game, as they ended up losing game 2, 6-10, and then lost the 3rd game of the series as well. This was a Matt Cain start, and this one, I think it started off.
This is the one where Heston really got messed up, right?
Yeah. This is where Cain started off well. He threw 4 good innings. And then it all unraveled in the 5th inning where he gave up 6 earned runs, 6 hits, walks. He had 7 strikeouts. I mean, up until that blow-up inning, his stuff was good. And then Chris Heston came in. He got blown up again. Only went an inning and a third, gave up 30 earned runs, 3 walks on 3 hits as well, got 1 strikeout. But it just...
There's no Yusmeiro Petit this year, too.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of starting pitching depth. And the guys that we do have are old. So if they're not going to come through, I mean, it may not. That's a 4 and a 5 spot that we need some wins. Because we still have question marks with Samardzija had the good start. Cueto's looked very good so far, but these are still early season results. So we need to see some returns from these guys, these back of the end guys, showing that they can put in 5 to 6 innings of work with a 4 ERA or something like that, 4.35, and eat up some innings because it's not gonna be good. We've had Sergio Romo have to hit the DL now because our bullpen's already old as it is, so we can't be giving them, or it's relatively old. The best guys are relatively old, so you can't you got to try and limit their innings as much as possible as they get to the late end of their career. So.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not an ideal time for them to have starting pitching problems right now as far as depth is concerned, too, because also at the back end of that bullpen, you've seen Romo now go on the DL. Casillas already getting up there in age, too, and there's going to be some concerns and questions about how he's going to hold up throughout the entire season. Lopez is ancient at this point, too. I mean, there's guys who you can't completely 100% bank on them, even though they've been so reliable. Father Time always wins. Mm-hmm. And we've seen it happen to guys like, I think the best national example would be what happened to Kobe Bryant later in his career. It's not, you don't want to bet that guys are going to keep on going and keep on trudging along and playing in 80% of their team's games into close being the end of their 40s. Mm-hmm. So it's something to monitor.
Diminishing returns, absolutely. There is a lighter story. That maybe it's just lighter because it's making fun of another player, but it was reported earlier today that the whole Pablo Sandoval situation in Boston, right?
Who wouldn't?
It was reported earlier today that the Giants were telling hotels to refuse room service for Pablo Sandoval when he was playing for the team.
That does not shock me one bit.
To keep his weight low. Oh man, that's great. He just got benched by the Red Sox. I mean, the Giants made the right choice there. I mean, a lot of people were kind of worried that Pablo still had years of service left in him, but it seems like he just isn't mentally in the right state of mind.
I called that so early on, and there was some other Giants fans telling me, "Oh, we know it'd be cool to have him back." Or something. I said, "Watch, just watch."
Mm-hmm. He can't control his weight.
Yeah,
he can't control himself.
That's just kind of getting sad at this point.
Oh, he just got put on the DL too.
No, he was put on the DL pretty recently. I think it was a total cop-out, though. I think the Red Sox are really trying to search for a way to get rid of him.
Yeah, get rid of that contract.
Good luck, though.
Yeah.
I'd say they're still looking good, though. I mean, that infield is just on fire right now, and now you're adding in a pretty solid backup catcher in Trevor Brown, who started the season pretty nice, and you give out the belt extension. He's gonna be sitting around for a little bit longer. Crawford's hitting the ball pretty well right now. Duffy's showing that he's not a fluke. Panic's still hitting the ball well. Posey.
Missed a couple games, but not too worried about that.
Yeah, that's just kind of precautionary at this point. Early on in the season, you don't want to be playing guys you don't absolutely need to.
Exactly. It's a minor misstep.
Yeah.
But we were on the road against, and we faced one of the hottest batters in the league. Two of the hottest batters, I guess, technically in the league right now, and they both went off respectively.
And hey, Denard Span, 9th in the league in RBIs right now.
Yeah,
Denard Span.
I'm so glad you asked me who was second on the team, and I was like, is it Denard Span? And you're like, why would you guess that? And I was like, I don't know, but I knew.
Who in their right mind takes a light-hitting leadoff hitter as one of the most productive guys as far as runs batted in?
I think that to be honest, I haven't been noticing if they've been running that two leadoff man lineup, but I mean, if he's second on the team in RBIs, maybe Pagan. Oh, because Pagan has been hot, so it makes sense. Pagan's been hot, getting on base, and Denard Span's been hitting him in. So I could definitely.
I was gonna say it has to be Pagan because other than Bumgarner, you got Cueto and Samardzija and Kane and Peavy hitting. Those aren't exactly all-star hitters.
Kane hitting.
Yeah. It has to be Pagan. To be Pagan.
Yeah, definitely agreed there. So we got another set against the Dodgers coming up.
Yeah, big time showdown, Chavez Ravine. So at the time of we're recording, it's gonna be Bumgarner and Kershaw
tonight. Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be a big matchup. Round 2 of that, and then
set, yeah.
We'll see who ends up taking this series, and I'd say the winner of this series will probably carry a good set of momentum into the next few games or next few weeks or so.
Yep, agreed. It's right now it's a 3-team race for the NL West. Who would have thought that the Rockies would have been in that third team too? Diamondbacks 3-7 to start the season. Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong there. I was really hopping on that D-backs bandwagon with Greinke and Miller, and I think Pollock's a huge blow. We talked about that last week too, and that's such a huge blow to lose your table setter like that. I think they'll rebound somewhat. I think at this point it's looking a little bit hazy about whether they're going to get back into actual series contention. I think they'll at least finish
early.
around 500 or so, though.
It's
Because
early.
Pollock will come back. I think Greinke and Miller will round out into form. But, yeah, Colorado Rockies, until their pitching totally collapses, which is surprising.
The
if they
statistics
haven't,
show that it will happen at some point. So.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you'd have to assume that they're hot hitters, including one we're about to get into.
You want to jump into
next
Player of the
segment,
Week?
Yeah.
Might as well. I'm wrapped up with Giants. So
we're gonna start a new segment here. We'll hit on this every week of the MLB season. Just fun little keeping tabs on who deserves credit for either hitting the crud out of the ball or having a couple dominant pitching performances. This week, I'm going to hand out my Player of the Week to Nolan Arenado, third baseman of the Colorado Rockies, not only just because he's been hitting the absolute poo out of the ball, but he's an all-around great player, Gold Glove winner over at third base, all-around good presence, good attitude about the game. He's handled that situation where they got rid of Tulowitzki pretty well. He's kind of embracing the face of that franchise. I don't think you could really say Carlos Gonzalez is right now. But,
I hate him. 7 RBIs in one game.
My partner
I hate him.
Eric might not be as enthused with him. That'd kind of like be my enthusiasm with Trout, I guess. But yeah, Arenado, got to give respect where respect needs to be given, and he's been putting in the work, and it's showing. I just love watching him take lift off with that home run swing. He just pounds and punishes those balls where it's just it's not just that Coors Field mirage. When you see how hard and how high he hits it, that's going out in any ballpark.
Yeah.
Not just Coors Field. That's going anywhere.
Every time I look down at my phone this series, I just saw Nolan Arenado knocks in 2 runs. Nolan
Sack
Arenado,
fly,
yeah,
home
3
run,
runs.
double.
And I'm at a certain point, I'm just like, I'm going to throw my phone against the wall. Like, screw Nolan Arenado. I hate this guy. Man, Rockies, good series, Rockies.
Got to give a slight shout out to my boy JD over in the American League too. He's killing it as well. Grand slam, all doing it while he's playing through a calf injury. So he's been relegated to DH duties, but he's still carrying that Blue Jays offense. Even though the pitching's kind of sucking a little bit lately, he's still driving in runs at a pretty alarming clip. So shout out to him over there. Hopefully he continues that and recovers a little bit. And now we'll move on to Eric's choices.
My Player of the Week, and I'm just going to put out a precursor on this thing. Dalton's going to be way more informed on me on who the Player of the Week should be for probably the rest of the time. So I'm going to go with Vincent John Velasquez, pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies.
He had quite the good week.
Oh, man, yeah.
Right?
Yes, he did. 2 victories, picking up a win against the New York Mets in his first start, 6 innings. No runs given up, 9 strikeouts and 3 walks. That's the minor performance. He then went up against the San Diego Padres. The San Diego Padres having a great start to their season.
That juggernaut of an offense.
Shut out, and he shut them. He handed them their 4th shutout of the season with a 16 strikeout performance against that squad. No walks, 16 strikeouts, 3 hits. Put up a game score of 97 for you little sabermetric guys. That was insane.
Masterful. Absolutely
that's
masterful.
a performance. So, Vince Velasquez, you are getting my Player of the Week. I don't have much to say about you other than that.
Really showing that they kind of are winning that trade with that big trade where the Astros acquired Ken Giles, that possible closer candidate in the offseason. And then the Phillies bring in Mark Appel, Vince Velasquez, a couple of other promising prospects, but I think Velasquez was the diamond in the rough right there, and he's really showing that power potential right now. There's been some comparisons to him being kind of like a young Max Scherzer in a way, where Scherzer was kind of seen as a guy you might give up on. Maybe he's not going to reach his full potential. That's why he got traded from the Diamondbacks to the Tigers, and now you're kind of seeing it all over again with the Astros getting rid of Velasquez, and now all of a sudden he's just going off right now.
And you think about that NL East, you didn't think the Phillies were going to be one of the teams competing. You thought it'd be the Nationals, the Mets.
They still won't compete.
Yeah, but they are in second right now. You have to give them credit 10 games in, and they are 3 games back.
They did play the lowly Reds, too, I think. Yeah. They took advantage of some pretty crappy the Reds and Padres, I'm going to take all that with a grain of salt. Once they start playing the Mets and the Dodgers and Giants, then we're going to really start to grade those Damn Phillies! I don't like the Phillies because when
Neither do I.
when I think of Phillies, I think of Chase Utley.
Yes,
I hate Chase Utley.
yes, dude. Chase Utley on the Dodgers now with his white hair pisses me off so much. I hate that guy.
I'm looking forward to when the Mets play them and he just gets one right under the kisser.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Just take out slides all day. They don't care if it counts as an out. They'll choose their spots wisely. As long as it doesn't end a baseball game. That's happened twice already.
All right, so now we're going to step into some NBA playoff predictions and kind of outlook here. First round coming your way starting tomorrow.
This first round, I feel like, is going to be a little bit easy.
It's going to suck.
Yeah, it's going to be easy to predict,
For
and it's
fans,
going to suck to watch.
it's going to suck.
Yeah, it's not a lot of matchups that are very
And that's all we got for you. We'll come back with the second round in a couple of... No, we're just
Let's get
playing.
some Warriors talk now. Yeah, it's... you start off Western Conference or Eastern Conference? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, we'll start off with the East first, and we'll get to our boys' conference. Eastern Conference, okay, so the matchups are going to be 1-8 Cavs and Pistons, 2-7 Raptors and Pacers, 3-6 Hawks and Celtics, and then the 4-5 Heat and Hornets. Any
switched 4 and 5 is Hawks and Celtics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 3 and 6 is he got this 3 seed. He were able to wrap that up.
Gotcha.
I'm a closet Heat fan.
So any of those matchups stand out to you? Let me just put it this way: do you see there being any sort of possibility of a lower seed winning?
If it's there's two matchups in the East, maybe Boston over the Hawks would be one that I'd say is possibly the 4-5. Obviously, is the closest matchup, but yeah, the Celtics have been hot recently, and then the Heat, Hornets have been really hot as well lately too. They're riding Linsanity, and the Heat just lost a bad game against the Celtics. They're up something like 26 points, and Celtics went on a 34-7 run or something like that, took the lead and were able to beat the Heat. Although some Heat fans will say that actually helped out the Heat because they'll be getting the matchups they want in the playoffs. But you lose a game like that, you got to wonder, without Bosh, with leaning so hard on two rookies and Josh Richardson and Justice Winslow, and hoping that Wade and Joe Johnson will be able to hero ball your way into the next series. You got to wonder if the Hornets could be a team to upset them.
I think small forward's going to be the key for the Heat in that series. Getting production out of Joe Johnson
Winslow,
and Luol Deng and Winslow. Those three guys are key.
Agreed.
Because especially not having Bosh there, that reliable production you're used to getting, and then you pretty much got a sense of what you're going to get out of Dwayne Wade at this point, and Goran Dragic for the most part. And Whiteside, you'll get a pretty masterful rebounding and blocks performance every now and again.
Some offense savviness from him.
But yeah, you're going to need some veteran leadership from those small forwards, especially Dang and Johnson. Those guys need to really make their presence felt. And then Winslow needs to just come in and bring some energy off the bench, that youth that he's got.
And even their second-round draft pick, Josh Richardson, I think he may be an X factor because when they were winning this past month or so, is because he was hitting the three-point shot at a very high clip. So they're going to need, and he hasn't been a three-point shooter in his career, looking at the averages, so they might need him to continue his hot streak. He has cooled off a little bit, though, too, so to be successful, they might need him to go off a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say him kind of canceling out Dwayne Wade's complete lack of a three-point shot. That's pretty key.
There was a clip in that Celtics game, I think, where we were watching that game, right? Where Dwayne Wade pump faked on the three-pointer and the Celtic ran out on him. I'm like, what are you doing? Dwayne Wade is one of the worst three-point shooters in the league. How are you going to get faked out on that, of all people, to pump fake you?
Yeah, it's like closing out on Josh Smith when he's trying to shoot a three-pointer.
You let him take that shot.
Take it, man.
Yeah.
That's all yours.
24, 25% clip shooting. Let him go.
Yeah, I'd say that the Boston series with Atlanta is really intriguing to me because those teams are really identical, to be honest.
Team play.
Just the way they carry themselves, the fact that both teams don't really have... The closest to a superstar each team has is, you'd say, Isaiah Thomas on the Boston Celtics, then you'd probably go with Horford or Millsap on the Hawks. And those guys don't even profile as real superstar types. They're more of just kind of supporting stars. So...
Yeah, they're both
They're built
more,
on just being a team and
coached up
a lot
very
of
well.
chemistry. Oh yeah, the coaching on those teams is phenomenal. I can't wait to see Brad Stevens coaching against Budenholzer. That's going to be great.
Matchups galore.
So I would like to see that. That has potential to go 7 games. Potential that I'd say out of all of the series of round 1, that's going to be the most exciting by far.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think it all depends on whether Isaiah Thomas, because I think he's going to be the key for Boston late game to really win them some games against Atlanta Hawks. I think they're going to be close games due to how close they're going to be well coached. Neither team's going to be able to get out there on a big run. And then if Isaiah Thomas can, if Jeff Teague can win that matchup, the Atlanta Hawks take it. If Isaiah Thomas wins that matchup, I think the Boston Celtics can take it. So it'll be that's the funnest matchup I think out in the East for me in this first round. Most entertaining ball.
Yeah, Evan Turner, if he can keep his recent hot streak going for the C's too, and then they get some front court help from guys like Sullinger, Olynyk, and Amir Johnson. Those guys step into their roles and play the game the way that the team expects them to. They all fill their roles correctly. It could be a very good series. And if the Celtics get past that round, that's my underdog kind of scary team to watch throughout the playoffs. Because I mean, we saw it when they downed the Warriors. This team can be for real if they're playing and firing on all cylinders and really hitting their peak potential. Even though they're still real young, they can make some splashes.
On the flip side of that, though, the Hawks have Kent Bazemore. So
I never liked Kent
Game
Bazemore.
set match. Oh, you don't. He had the best show offs from the bench. And now
he had the best bench celebrations, but it always reminded me of why he's sitting on the bench.
Hey, he can shoot a 3-pointer now, so he's playing games.
And again, I think the only reason why he's being productive over in Atlanta, he's a product of a system. They know how to use him.
Absolutely.
Let's see Kent Bazemore produce playing for, I don't know, the Timberwolves.
Cleveland. Yeah. Well, maybe Cleveland, he'd be all right, but they run that
Kings.
Yeah.
Go play with DeMarcus Cousins and that dumpster fire over in Sacramento. Yeah, I want to see him produce over there. But yeah, I don't think it really matters. It's kind of like the Warriors when they were putting Brandon Rush in for Harrison Barnes. I mean, it's just like it just doesn't matter who plays there. the team's gonna kind of carry
you. Your shots. Yeah. Agreed. Let's see, other series, you have Cavaliers, Pistons. Cavaliers will kill in that. I think the Pistons...
Yeah, the Pistons are decent. They could give them a few games. I mean, I like Tobias Harris and Drummond. I'm not a huge Reggie Jackson fan, but I think I like Drummond. Drummond can make an impact on the boards, and if Harris has a decent game or two, they could steal a couple, maybe force that series to 6 games.
Steal a game, put some pressure on LeBron.
Cleveland's going to take that series, so it's not that close.
And then the one other series, Toronto Raptors versus the Indiana Pacers.
Pretty simple. If Paul George shows up and is the PG-13 that's a series. If he's absent, that's a blowout.
Yeah, agreed.
Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan will force the issue.
I'm hoping that he doesn't show up too, because I want to see the Raptors take a series, and I don't think they've won a 7-game series yet.
I want to see Toronto and Golden State. I want to see Drake at the NBA Finals.
Drake would be at every game. He'd be wearing like a half jersey, half Toronto Raptors, half Golden
I was going to say he's that bandwagoner. So what jerseys is he going to sport? He going to be rocking the?
He's wearing the half jersey. Man. Think about every negative thought you've thought about the fan who wears that. It works out perfectly for Drake. He is going to be the person to do that.
Yeah, he's going to be that dude that's sitting over there with his like Kyle Lowry or Raptors jersey, sporting some Currys on his feet too. So that'll be interesting. That would be an ideal scenario. I really want. Let's make that happen. I want that NBA Finals to happen just for that intriguing side story.
For what Drake will have to do, because he hangs out with Steph Curry so often too.
Yeah.
Like they're friends. I feel like so. Him and Aisha.
Yeah, and they're hanging out at In-N-Out Burger over in Alameda together.
Did you see what kind of became national news? Aisha Curry, Steph Curry, and Roscoe. Where that was stupid. Roscoe was interviewing Steph, and Aisha came up and like did just something that was supposed to be funny, and it was funny. And then the national media was just like, "Oh man, look at her stepping in for her man." I was like, "What are you talking about? Like that's so dumb, so dumb."
Everybody knows that you and Roscoe aren't official yet, but there's something there.
Yeah, Roscoe, she's my bae. So. There's no way she's getting with Steph because she's getting with me. So, GG life. Western Conference time now.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's get past the formality. Is there any way that Houston has any sort of a chance in the series?
No one believes that Houston has a chance in this
Not
series.
even Houston believes in Houston.
Yeah.
Houston, we definitely have more than a problem right now.
Yeah. There is some Houston TV show put out, or a news program had a poll on how if the Rockets made the play. This is before they clinched. If they made the playoffs, how far would they get? Literally 100% of the voters calling in put them as losing to the Warriors in the first round.
Keeping it 100 down in Houston.
So I got to give Rockets fans respect for keeping it real. Like, they are not delusional whatsoever. So they've got a straight head on. So it's gonna be a fun series as a Warriors fan. It was a really fun series.
We're gonna mop the floor of them. Yeah.
Barring
some epic out of nowhere series from Michael Beasley off the bench. I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary happening. I'm anticipating an average shooting night of like 6 for 21 for James Harden with 500 free throw attempts.
So he'll still get 30 points.
And Dwight Howard will also get 500 free throw attempts and make 20% of them.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's what sucks.
Stick him on his hands.
That's what sucks about that series is I hate seeing so many guys get fouled, but it just with Howard and Harden, those are the Foul Brothers. That could be an easy nickname for them. Is they're the Foul Brothers? Because you want to foul Howard so he misses all of his free throws, and then Harden's just annoying.
Yeah. Do you think they take a game from the Warriors?
I think it's possible. I'd like to see the Warriors just sweep them, but. It's not the end of the world if they take a game. It's not the end of the world.
The Rockets have spewed out so much unwarranted crap this past season, the past year, just saying, or James Harden saying that he's better than Steph. The Rockets, after getting swept by the Warriors in the regular season last year, saying that they were the better team, then getting beaten in 5 and still running their mouths. It's just, they run their mouths so much for a team that's done so little. It is so frustrating. I see the Warriors taking that series, if it wasn't obvious enough, folks.
Yeah. Definitely, for sure. And then also, I think this might be the most lopsided series of all the playoff matchups. Is San Antonio against the Goon Squad.
Man, hey, the Grizzlies look so bad, so bad.
Just for entertainment purposes, Dave Yeager, can you please just have a starting lineup of just throw Anderson out there? I want Birdman, give me Zach Randolph, Lance Stevenson, Matt Barnes, and throw out one other.
Who cares about winning games?
One other Goon in there. Yeah.
Realize what your asset is to the league, and your asset to the league is beating players up.
They might just be out there trying to injure Spurs players. That's their goal.
Yeah, it's
soften them up for us, Memphis.
Not going to be a close series. Yeah, for real.
You can beat up some of those old guys, Ginobili and Duncan and Parker. Would be much appreciated.
I mean, you don't even have to do much to beat them up. Just like you don't need to go flagrant on them. Just be a little rough. You guys are big enough. You're nasty enough. You could probably just wear them down a little bit. Open it up for us in the second or third round, or it'd be third round.
Yeah, and I'd say probably. Then we got Oklahoma City and Dallas. That's not really going to be much of a matchup either. Yeah. I think, especially this Chandler Parsons is out for the year for Dallas, so they're going to be going real small. JJ Barea might be in the starting lineup. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, they're going to put it all on Dirk, and I don't think he's got enough left in the tank.
It's his. My apologies to the Cubes, Mark Cuban over there, but your golden boys. He's on his way out. So I'll take Oklahoma City. Maybe I'll give Dallas one game, and that's a total anomaly. It might be
maybe a game where things don't work out for Durant and Westbrook in terrible fashion.
Which is entirely possible because they take pretty bad shots. Sometimes.
They have the potential for a bad game real bad game every once in a while, like the Splash Brothers. So.
And I'd say the only series that's really worth even paying attention to in the first round is Portland and L.A. And it's still pretty heavily leaned towards the Clippers getting the job done. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, that should just be too much star power for Damian Lillard to overcome by himself.
Trailblazers being able to get that 5 seed, though,
Matt Props, Terry Stotts, probably going to get Coach of the Year. which is really going to grind my gears because that means Steve Kerr gets snubbed again.
Yeah.
But even when they set the record for wins, whatever. The NBA likes a good Cinderella story. They're going to give it to Terry Stotts for taking nothing and turning into something.
Lost LaMarcus Aldridge, lost Wesley Matthews, lost Robin Lopez, lost Nicholas Batum. I mean, you lose that many.
80% of your starting lineup, bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly. So
CJ McCollum, shout out to him, probably going to take home Most Improved Player. There could be 2 awards on that team.
That's the only way the Trailblazers, if CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard just go off in this series. I mean, we've seen Dame Lillard, he's won a series by himself once before, but this Clippers team's good. And this Clipper team's much better defensively now that Blake Griffin is back.
I'd say an X factor to keep an eye on in this series is the rebounding battle, too. If Portland's bigs can give DeAndre some sort of resistance on the boards and give them kind of challenge him a little bit throughout the series, then it'll get interesting. But, I mean, if Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan just pound their way through the paint and have their way the entire series, it's not going to be that close.
And you know what's crazy? I didn't even know this until just now. The Clippers backcourt of Chris Paul and J.J. Redick, they're the top 3-point shooting in terms of percentage this year. They put up a 45.7 3-point percentage shooting this year. So, I mean, obviously they don't do it at the mass that the Warriors do it, so it's not as effective. But that's still pretty good numbers.
How many threes, Eric? How many threes?
Yeah, this isn't up here. So
did Steph make more threes than J.J. Redick and Chris Paul combined?
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Case closed. And Steph was in the 50, 40, 90 club, too, so suck on that, Chris Paul. First unanimous MVP. Come on, give it to him. Give it to him.
See, Jerry West said he deserves it, but he's probably not going to get it because
there's always that one guy.
Yeah.
There's always that one guy.
People want to, you have
that one guy that gives Michael Beasley a vote.
Hey,
just to say
I got to give the CBA MVP an NBA vote.
Why not, man? He won it over there. Why not?
So you want to get into? I mean, we talked a little bit about Warriors Rockets already. Do you want to dive into that a little bit more, or feel like we may have?
So overall predictions throughout the first round is pretty much all the top seeds you're gonna get in.
Western Conference, I say the top seeds getting in. Eastern Conference, all the top seeds, unless the Celtics and the Hornets do something. Those will be the 2 lower seeds that I'd see causing the upset in this first round.
I completely agree with you. This is one of the most not debated parts of the playoffs I can remember in recent memory.
All the matchups we're waiting for are in round 2. I mean, you look at
we'll definitely once we start to creep closer to round 2 and all the teams kind of find their way through the first round.
You're going to get potentially Warriors, Clippers, Thunder, Spurs in that second round, and then on the East Coast, you're going to be getting Cavaliers
matchups
versus either Boston or Atlanta, and then the Raptors versus either Heat or Charlotte. I mean,
give me Cleveland, Boston. I want Cleveland, Boston.
Yeah,
that would be a good matchup.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm pumped for that second round. This first round, let's just get the games. Let's get the formalities out of the way.
And the last big subject we want to hit on is, of course, your Golden State Warriors.
Dubs talk.
Our boys finally did it. They proved all the haters and the naysayers wrong. Haters gonna hate.
Thanks, Tay. 73-9 to finish the season. It was what we all wanted and we were hoping for it to have happen, and it did happen. A little bit anticlimactic, I will definitely admit that in that final game. But, I mean, if you're a Warriors fan, you don't care how they win it and how they get it. I mean,
no, it was still a really exciting game, though. You got to see Steph break the three-point threshold to 400 threes.
That's insane. No players ever even hit 300.
He got the points he needed to average 30.
Yep. He basically did everything he had to. I had a couple Warriors fans tell me that game was boring, and I just got pissed. I was livid. I was like, yeah, you have a game that has that much history behind it. It may be anticlimactic, like I said, but it's certainly not boring.
No, we want to go watch Kobe hoist up 50 shots and make 60 points in a game that doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, that was entertaining too. But I mean, it was nice to see Kobe do that. I was gonna throw a little Kobe shout out. I guess I'll do it right now. Kobe, thank you for those 20 years. Like, that last game was amazing. I watched both games at the same time. Like,
just throwing it out there, top 10 most field goals attempted the last 20 years. Kobe's got 6 of those spots, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's top 15 greatest players of all time. So, hats off to him. See you, Kobe. Like I would have wanted one more year, but I'm a bit unrealistic. So
If they retire both of his numbers, that's gonna piss me off.
I think I'm assuming they're going to. They had both. They had both his numbers on the court for that final game, and I thought that was a little bit weird, but they're sending him off. Right?
Kobe's not even on like Abdul-Jabbar level or anything like that, and those guys only get one number.
He's got him 5 championships though.
Come on, man. Shaq helped a little bit with some of that. Just saying. So did Pau Gasol.
Yeah.
People think that Kobe just single-handedly lifted that team.
That's the storyline they wrote this season, that he carried them like he always has carried them. Like he's
no one's denying that he's great, but it's like nobody can really be that great. Mm-hmm. I mean, even look at LeBron James had to go get help from his boys. He went and whined all the way to South Beach.
Yeah.
Oh, give me a championship.
Guys, help!
I can't do it in Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, he's still
Cleveland's cursed.
LeBron still needs to go to Miami to get his vitamins. He's had those 2 trap trips, the Miami trip these past 2 seasons. He comes back from that and puts up 29, 8, and 8 every season. It's a little suspicious.
AKA steroids.
I didn't want to say it, all right? I didn't want to say it. I said vitamins, all right?
You said it. You meant it. You implied it.
Hey, the NBA drug policy, it works how it works, so what can you do?
Damn you, LeBron James.
But, what else to say about this Warriors season? That's the end of this.
What a time to be alive, man. Never thought it'd be done, and honestly, saw a couple guys mention it too. I really don't think that this record now will get beat in our lifetime. I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
The way the sport's evolving, you just kind of see, as far as guys' health is concerned, teams play it way more cautiously these days. You see it in baseball with guys coming back from Tommy John and being afraid of guys throwing out their arms and getting their elbows permanently damaged. And then in NBA, NFL, you're not going to see guys with like Brett Favre type streaks anymore where they're playing a ridiculous Iron Man streak amount of games. Yeah. It's just not going to happen anymore. Now that modern medicine is advancing and we're way more aware of the wear and tear on guys' bodies, it's just there's going to be too much rest involved, too much more Popovichian type approaches in the future.
On top of that, the way the NBA schedule's set up, you already have 8 scheduled losses. Every team has 8 scheduled losses a year almost. So the Warriors basically only lost 1 of their non-scheduled losses. And that's unbelievable. That's something that's never going to ever probably happen again.
And this is just truly a unique team. I mean, you can really say that on this Warriors team, there's probably 8 guys who are starters on this team. Mm-hmm. 8, not 5.
What happens is when the sport is revolutionized the way the Warriors have done it, they're the first team to get out on that revolution. So they get the advantage for 3 or 4 seasons, and then the rest of the league catches up. And the league completely adapts, and you won't see the widespread, I don't want to say it's a non-parity that we saw this year with 4 teams right at the top going off. I think it's going to I don't know what the verbiage is for parity, but it's gonna be more varied as seasons go on and more teams know what's up.
I'm just at a loss for words, really, to go too far into depth about what it was. It was really nice to watch it all unfold. Mm-hmm. You know, for us to be fans of this team and watching this team compete for the last few years and work their way towards this goal and finally reach that peak and all play so well together. It's just it's truly amazing to see such dominance and success.
It really is.
We're really
it really
lucky.
is. I mean, I feel like the ownership, the GM-ship, the new GM-ship, when they moved in around 2009, 2011, and they really showed that they had a plan for their players. I mean, what I mean is that the Warriors...
Take notes, Jed York.
The Warriors, the players had easily defined roles as a fan that you could see what each player, what they brought, how they brought it to the table. They fit together the pieces seamlessly, and that's the key between good teams and bad teams. Bad teams takes a lot to describe how they work together, what they can do. A good team, it just comes to you see, oh, they're a quick 3-point passing team. They have these 2 guys who play their down low game. Each role is well defined. You have the Brandon Rush 3-point shooter. I mean, it's easy to figure out how that team works and why they're so good, and that's since 2011, when they got Andrew Bogut, when they got oh man, who's the other? I mentioned him earlier in the show, the offensive player who has no defense, David Lee. You could see that the form of a plan was starting to come together, and it's just right in the prime of that plan right now. They're reaping the rewards of what they've sowed. So it's amazing to watch.
And like I said earlier too, with the fact that I would say the 8 starters they have, just because I mean you got your starting 5, you'd have Curry, Thompson, Barnes, Green, and Bogut, but then the other 3 guys who would easily start on another team is Iguodala would definitely, Ezeli would, and Livingston would. All 3 of those guys, no question. For probably at least 20 of the other teams would start. It's just incredible the fact that we've got all those guys together and we lucked out on getting
contracts.
We got Barbosa and Livingston, both of those fines. We got Livingston when he was coming back from injury. He was trying to work his way back into top tier shape. We grabbed Barbosa when he had just come back from overseas and he'd been out of the league, and we found total diamonds in the rough.
Barbosa, a lot of people thought he might be done, and then he's come back with the Warriors and he's just put it up. Like, he's shown that he still has a lot left in the tank. He's been Brazilian blur.
It's his offense that's keeping him going, because he doesn't offer a whole lot on the defensive side. Him and Spates kind of share the same characteristics. I mean, obviously Barbosa does it a little bit differently, where he attacks the paint a lot with his speed. But
Spates just stays out there and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit this shot from 27 feet out."
he keeps trying to take more steps back and trying to expand his range to that Steph Curry
his confidence.
territory.
Yeah, I love it. Just his mental evolution as a player is just amazing, dude. Like, I feel like he just fed off the crowd early on in his Golden State Warriors career, and it's just become such a symbiotic relationship between the crowd and him. We love Spates. Spates loves us. Spates makes baskets.
Money, buckets.
He just works so hard. Yeah, and he's been turning it on defensively, too, recently in these past 20 games or so. I mean, relatively. I know you're giving me that, hey, it's Spates playing defense, but he's relatively turned up the effort in his defensive game.
The irony in that sentence. Most Spates, what's the word? An oxymoron. Yeah. It's saying Maurice Spates and turning on defense in the same sentence.
Yeah,
it's going like, wait, what?
It makes no sense.
I'm assuming James Harden's up for Defensive Player of the Year also.
His standstill game is revolutionary. He's trying to bring the revolution on the defensive side. What if I just don't play defense, guys? What if I just sit here or stand here?
Have a designated defender in the NBA. That'd be something.
Like, he runs off
Have
the
a guy
court.
that only just plays on offense, and then when it's running back to defense, you send another guy on.
It's like a line change in hockey, basically. I like it. I like this rule change. We needed to bring this up with Adam Silver in our behind closed doors conversations. Yeah. So
I don't want to help out James Harden. Screw you, James Harden. He can play defense.
So the matchup against, I mean, we already brought up the Rockets. Anything we want to delve into specifically?
I'd say. What do you think are some keys to success for this series? Other than the given.
If the Warriors are alive and have a pulse in this series, they will win this series, is how I look at it. Yeah,
I was going to say I was just going to restate my Michael Beasley theory for a key to success for the Rockets.
Yeah, for the Rockets to beat the Warriors, you would need James Harden and Dwight Howard to combine to put together performances they've literally never put together before.
I'd say those two would easily have to put together maybe 70-point nights.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say 85 points.
On the regular.
I was going to say 85 points to beat the Warriors.
I'd say they have to combine for 70 points. Howard needs to be getting about 15 boards a game. Yep. And
not turn the ball over.
Beasley,
they're one of some of the worst at turning the ball over.
Beasley needs to learn how to be efficient off the bench, and Ariza needs to play okay. I mean, there's a lot of guys that just need to step up into some bigger roles on that team. I just don't see it happening. And it's not even just that. It would have to be Steph shooting uncharacteristically poor, and Clay as well. Iguodala would have to get sloppy with it off the bench. Draymond would have to not be as much of a factor in all the facets of the game. But just counting on all of that to come together is just so unlikely.
The Rockets offense is very good, so we'll have to give them credit there. Their past 41 games, they've put together 110 points 23 times.
But they give it all back on D.
Exactly. It's so bad defensively. So
James Harden represents that team's identity on defense.
To a T, to a T, yeah. They've only been held below triple digits twice since September, and I think that was before Kevin McHale got fired as head coach. So they bring it offensively. They're just
what a great decision that was. Totally his fault, right, guys?
I loved seeing Kevin McHale on like the NCAA or like NBA Inside Drive the few times he's been on there, where he's just like, I don't know what the Rockets are doing. And he just smiles and everyone starts laughing because they all know he got screwed over completely. I feel bad for Kevin McHale, but I don't feel bad because the Rockets are such a terrible organization that I hate them all.
Yeah, Daryl Morey. I don't know.
Daryl Morey's cool. Daryl Morey,
I don't know what he's got up his sleeve. Yeah. It's not so much like I don't have a beef. I wonder what's going on in his head.
Maybe like I think he has like a Sam Hinkie sort of, like he's so set in on his plan.
That might be where they're heading if Howard bolts and then Harden's kind of left there by himself. It's just like, well, we might as well tear it all up.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I can't see them attracting many big names to that dumpster fire of a city. I mean, it's just
low taxes. That'd be the biggest selling point. I feel like you get a little more money
when you're arguably the third most attractive city in your own state. That's not good.
Yeah.
Because I'd probably put Dallas ahead of them too. Obviously, San Antonio's number one, but I'd probably put Dallas ahead of them, honestly.
Yeah, because Dallas, you're not dealing with.
At least you get a great coach in Rick Carlisle too.
Yeah. And you have
you get that crazy Mark Cuban to back you up. Yeah. Once you're on his team, you're on his team.
Yeah, he's a Cuban for lifer, really. Man, I'm just thinking about how different it would have been if DeAndre Jordan would have ended up on the Mavericks.
No different.
You don't think? I think
maybe the Clippers drop a spot or two.
Yeah, and then Mavericks. Well, they already got the 6 speed, so they 6 or they're 6, right? Yeah, so they. Maybe
both teams would not make the Western Conference Finals at the end of the day. Let's just say that.
That's true. See, I'm trying to. So what would you throw down as your prediction for this series?
4-0 Warriors.
4-0, yeah. 4-0, 4-1 is how I see it. Easy.
Only way the Rockets take a game is if Steph and Clay are both off shooting and James Harden goes bonkers, which could happen. I just don't.
It would happen. It's not going to happen 4 times.
I wouldn't put my money on it happening even once.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bet against the Warriors having a bad night.
Mm-hmm. I could see the Warriors' defense just frustrating James Harden.
That's the big thing. It's like you slap Iguodala or Thompson on Harden. Those guys aren't slouches defensively. So
GG.
Yeah, that's gonna be a wrap on that series.
Exciting first round predictions from us over here. The favorites are gonna win.
Hopefully next round, then we can start getting into some more juicy Warriors Clippers type stuff.
Yes, that'll be.
Even that series, I don't think will be as competitive as people think.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Looking at you, Paul Pierce. Over the hill.
He's just like, I'm kind of old.
Old man.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I'm not surprised he's still in the league. It seems like that someday you just got to call it a day. All right, let's wrap up Warriors talk. Let's move on. Let's go a little. I'm gonna pause it real fast right here.
Yes, you're gonna talk a little bit.
Recording again.
Let's talk about some Sharks.
We're getting some Sharks hockey, and finally, I shouldn't say finally. Second time we've talked about it on the show as the NHL playoffs have started up. Sharks are matching up against the Los Angeles Kings, so this is going to be a big series for the Sharks fans. For me, I'm absolutely pumped for this. Anytime you go up against the Kings, it's big. Kings or Ducks.
Yes, it's big. It's big.
They had game 1 last night. Sharks took it 4-3. Big game from Joe Pavelski. Captain Joe Pavelski had 2 goals, including the game winner, 17 seconds into the third period. Nice little wraparound goal. He was matched up against the Kings and one of the best defensive forwards in the NHL, Anze Kopitar. I know you're already out of your league now. Yeah, he was matched up against him, used his body to do a nice little wraparound spin move, sneak it by quick far side. They took the lead 4-3. That's basically wraps up the game. Keys to the series, physicality is going to be the biggest thing biggest thing that I noticed in that first game is that the Kings were hitting the Sharks hard. And I know the Sharks aren't as physical as the Kings are. Kings like to wear you out along the boards and make you make mistakes once you're a little intimidated. But over a 7-game series against one team, that's how you beat teams. You wear them down and you make them make mistakes. So Sharks are going to need to play the same kind of hockey, the mistake-free hockey that they play, and capitalize on the chances that they have, because they got more chances than the Kings. But they need to start, if they don't start showing the body themselves, and they just allow the Kings to dominate them along the boards, hitting over and over again, I could see the Sharks wearing down and late in the series possibly giving it up. So I think Sharks stay physical, stay sharp. They win this series. They let the Kings play their game. Kings are going to take it. That's really all I have for. There's 3 minutes of Sharks hockey to end this segment here. Beat LA.
Of course, physicality is going to help. I would think if you just beat the other guys up more than they're beating you up.
Yeah.
Duh.
The trade-off though is if you're a little bit too aggressive, you can you open up holes behind you. You know, if you try to step up and check a guy and he gets by you, then you're basically screwed and out of position for an odd man rush. But the Kings,
if the refs are giving you crap, you just start body checking them too. Who cares?
There's this player on the Ducks or on the Kings. His name's Milan Lucic. He has this big nose, and he's just like a straight up thug, right? I hate him so much, right? And he just thugs around, goes around. There was a period in the game yesterday where after every stoppage in play, he's just coming up behind Sharks and giving them little cheap shots, like from behind on the shoulder. Refs were right there looking at it. I'm like, he's gonna get away with this the entire series because he's not hitting them hard enough, and it's playoffs. And Sharks need to do something about him. They just need to eliminate him. I'm not gonna say how. They just need to eliminate him. So screw the Kings.
They need to dull his skates.
Dull his skates. I know.
That'll show him.
Why am I skating so slow? Oh, I can't grip anything. And they win the series.
Take that, you dummy.
Dalton, bring in the insightful NHL chat. We're gonna just end it on that. Let's just end the show on that.
Nah, man, let's keep going. I want to know about Captain Pavelski's powers. What are his superpowers?
He's clutch as hell. All right, that's his first superpower. He always comes through in the clutch. That's basically his main superpower. He always comes through in the clutch. He's their best player, one of their best players. So you can call him
Captain Clutch.
Yeah. Like he's well known in like the USA team hockey circles as one of the clutcher players for Team USA. One of the clutchest players in the league. He's had like game-winning playoff goals in the past. So like in overtime, Sharks remember those goals, or Sharks fans remember those goals. So he's big for the Sharks, and playoffs, 16 wins, we need 15 more.
Yeah, I mean, it just all boils down to, you look at a King and you look at a Shark too, and who's going to win that matchup? It depends on your environment.
Does the King have bodyguards?
The King, if the King's taking a little dip in the ocean trying to swim around a little bit, my money's 10 out of 10 on that Shark.
Yeah.
Getting some dinner.
But if the King has the Shark in like an aquarium, then that's the totally Kings.
We take this fight to land, though. It's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're playing the hockey game on land.
Yeah.
Damn it.
By that logic, the Sharks are screwed. So I'm just gonna hope that logic doesn't hold true throughout this playoff series.
But they're playing on ice, which is frozen water.
Hockey. Yeah. So they may. It's a complicated situation when you think about it that way. I think we've.
These are the things that bother me at night.
This is why you're not a hockey fan. You're like, how do they beat each other? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, that is how weird hockey is.
See, I'll definitely say, if the Sharks play the Ducks, they're gonna beat the crap out of the stupid little Ducks. A Shark's gonna beat a duck.
Yeah. But if you have 100 horse-sized ducks,
what if I have 100 horse-sized Sharks?
Oh, that's a good point. That's
making for a very bad day. For you.
I'm imagining this fight now. Good podcast material. All right, let's call it a day, folks.
That's going to do it for this episode. Got a little silly there towards the end. But gotta keep it light. Gotta keep it going. Just being ourselves. I'm going to do me, man.
Social media.
Yes. We like it. We do it. We're millennials.
You're on the Twitter.
I'm on the tweets at Dalton Wicks.
All right. I'm at the Twitter at EH24 the Mamba still. the Instagram, Harmon24, the Snapchat, Each24, the Mamba as well. Is there anything I'm missing?
Facebook. I'm on Facebook.
Eric Harmon.
MySpace. AIM.
Oh, man. Zynga, that site way back in the day.
All the social medias throughout
we're hitting
time.
it up. N Harmon Show, iTunes, Spreaker.
Yes, iTunes. Get us trending on the tunes and
us
YouTube.
Reviews, throw us content. Our popularity for our shows on YouTube or on iTunes are through the roof.
Yeah.
We got those fans downloading the show. I know I am, and listening to the show. Gotta review how I do in the week and get better. It hasn't worked out yet. So, yeah.
Yeah, don't forget to send us questions, comments,
Yes.
anything you want to be featured on the show. We'll be happy to listen to it, review it, put it on.
Love having fan interactions.
Interaction's key. Love it.
Ready to call it a day. See you later, folks.
Alrighty, you stay classy.